Are you asking yourself, why is life always a challenge? Why is nothing easy in my life? Why are challenges everywhere? Why must I deal with this? Why can't I just have peace all the time? If you're asking those questions, I'm going to give you a simple answer. It's because you are an ever evolving being. And in order to evolve, you have to be challenged. You have to be presented with opportunities to develop a greater sense of awareness. Without the opportunities, the challenges, guess what? There would be no growth. You are meant to evolve. Think about your evolvement from the time that you were a child till now. You're a completely different human being. If you think back just 5 years ago, you were a completely different human being. What makes you different? The challenges that you faced and overcome, or the challenges that you faced and didn't overcome. See, until you overcome a challenge, that challenge owns you. But here's the key. When you get over a certain challenge and you master that, rest assured there'll be another. Because there's always going to be another. That's why one of the things that I love to do is, instead of looking forward as to what's ahead of me at night, how much more do I have to go? I look back at my day and I say, what did I accomplish today? What were my successes today? And when I look at that, I realize that every day I've been successful. And if there weren't a lot of great successes, then I ask the question, what challenges was I afraid to deal with? Because if you don't deal with a challenge, it's going to be there. It's going to remain there until you deal with it. And so the big thing about life is deal with them. You've got all the wisdom available to you. You've just got to stop, meditate, ask the question, and let the unknown wisdom that is flowing through you all the time to make its way known. But most of the time we've got this ego, and this ego thinks we know everything. We know how to resolve that. We know how to resolve that. We know how to resolve that. When in retrospect, it's a new situation. That's why it's not resolved. Ergo, the wisdom you need has got to be new wisdom. It's got to be a different way of looking at it. It can't be the old way of looking at it, because the old way of looking at it no longer works. This is where people get so hung up. You got to do new things to get new results. Nothing changes until you change. I say that over and over and over again. Most people hear it. Most people understand it. But most people do nothing about it. And the only reason I can figure out why most people don't change is, number one, they don't believe they can. Number two, they don't really know who they are, which means if they knew who they were, they could. Also, they don't feel worthy. That's a big thing. People just don't feel worthy of more. Why? Because we've been domesticated. We've been conditioned. If you're a grown man or a grown woman, let's say above 30, and let's say you've had bad relationships that didn't work out, and you meet someone fantastic, and you go back and you try to be the old person in relationships with the new person, guess what? You're destined to fail. In order for a new relationship to bring newness and to work, you have to become new. What is the greatest thing you can do in a relationship? Pretty darn simple. You've got to understand that the purpose of a relationship is to support and grow each other, to share and have fun. And that the underlying aspect of a relationship is that each person gives the other person the freedom to be themselves. In other words, one person is not trying to control the other. Laura says, I have to go back to college after 25 years to complete 3 courses. And I'm very nervous about it because I have not written a paper in a long time. And there are so many changes. You're going to do great. You have the infinite wisdom of the universe at your fingertips. It's an opportunity for you to tap into that wisdom and to realize that you can learn. I went back at 54 years of age and spent 3 years getting a master's degree in consciousness studies and becoming a licensed religious science minister. I hadn't been in school in years and years and years. And yet, when it was something I wanted, I did it and I excelled. I think I had a 3.87 GPA. I didn't have that in my undergrad when I was supposedly at my peak. Here's the thing, Laura. You don't believe you're at your peak. You believe because you're older now. It's been 25 years. That's what you just said. That you don't think you can do it when in fact you're smarter now than you've ever been. Challenge makes us grow. Growth is our natural path. You get to choose where you grow. Guess what? Challenges will come and you deal with them and then they go. And new challenges come, you deal with them and they go. All the while, you become a more aware and higher evolved version of you. That's the journey of life. Let me tell you one thing. Make sure you enjoy it. Don't fight it. Have fun with it. That's why it's there. With that, make it a great day. Much love, and may it be filled with challenge.